Welcome to another daily puzzle, and I'd like to thank ChessTiger787 for submitting this one. A very fun puzzle. If we start with a material count, we will see that pawns are even, and we have two rooks for a queen and a bishop. So we have 10 points against black's 12, meaning we are down from a material perspective, but the black king is currently a lot more open than ours on g1. We need to, of course, watch out for back rank tricks, but luckily the queen cannot get to the back rank so easily. So in the starting position, we of course want to look for checks. Our rook is also under attack, and there are two checks here, rook c8 and rook g4. Now one of the two checks is winning, the other is only a draw, while all other moves that aren't rook c8 or rook g4 check lose. So let's start with rook g4, which I can reveal immediately is not the winning move here. Of course, black cannot step into the corner because that runs into a mate after a couple of pieces being thrown into the mix. However, after king f8, there is no way forward here for white. We can give a check, well, we should actually give a check, and after rook c7, black can really go to any of the squares. All of them only need lead two draws. After, let's say, king d8, we can also now pick where we want to go. In any case, it will set up this threat of a back rank checkmate, but we simply don't have a way to force it. I will leave it to you guys to analyze these lines. If I try to go as far away as possible here, the problem is that it is no longer a back rank checkmate, and suddenly black can go on the offensive. Now rook g8 will be met by bishop f8, and we are not in time to take the bishop because suddenly we have those back rank problems I mentioned earlier. So rook g4, a good try, but not enough, only enough for a draw. I'm not going to go through all the lines, you can analyze them by yourselves if you want. And by method of elimination, that leaves us with the winning move, rook c8 check. This is a forcing move, the king can only go to g7. And now the big question is, what's the big idea? Because originally I would say the king looks safer on g7 than it did in the other line. Here on f8 it looks in more danger, but the big idea is that we follow up with another check, and this pawn on f6 actually plays a huge role by taking away the f6 escape square, meaning the king is forced to the edge on the board on h6, and now we have cut off the king where we want it, along the g file, and here comes the silent assassin, rook c3. And the checkmate threat is basically simply unstoppable. If king h5 attacking the rook on g4, the rook is going to go away as far as possible on g8, and here there is simply nothing that black can do to stop us from checkmating. The best they can do is delay the inevitable with moves like queen d3 or queen f1 check, but it is a forced mate in 4. So absolutely nothing that black can do. And of course in this position after rook c3, if black does anything else, like trying to checkmate us on the back rank again, then of course this is simply checkmate after rook h3. So very well done if you found this beautiful sequence.